We all love the X-Men, right? And I wanted to make something X-Men related with the release of X-Men 97, so I started a little side project. But then it turned into something much more. I and a bunch of other makers are helping out with Makers for Saint Jude, which I like to think of as a bunch of ragtag group of individuals coming together with their own set of unique skills to help fight cancer. You know, kind of like the X-Men. So, let's talk about side projects, making cool stuff, and trying to do some good in the world. And if you stick around to the end, you can find out how you can win this guy. Let's go! I've always told people that I steal a lot of my best material. And I'm joking, but I'm only partially joking. I draw a lot of inspiration from other artists, and as a kid I was a big comic book nerd. So I'm always seeing things from my childhood and trying to recreate them in different ways. And back when I first got my laser, one of my friends reached out and said, could you make one of these corner box art pieces? So I took the little piece that's in the corner box, except there used to be characters and stuff in the corner, and I tried to turn that into a bigger poster. So I made one that was about 18 by 7.5 inches, and then I kind of went crazy and made a bunch of them. But that idea got me thinking, why stop at a corner box? Why not make an entire giant comic book cover? So I went and did some research, sifted through some old comics, my old favorite covers, and I kind of thought, well, with X-Men 97 coming out, maybe we should do an X-Men piece. So that made me think of this t-shirt and this old comic, X-Men 11. So that's what I went with. Tools I have today allow me to resize and kind of upscale things in a really easy way. I have a $10 app for my iPad that allows me to trace over images. Not trace, come on. Maybe I'm like an inker, you know? But I can trace over images, replicate them, and then I use GIMP to make modifications, which is a free software. I use Inkscape, also a free software, to convert them to vectors. And then once it's a vector, I can basically resize things and it won't distort the image at all. And that also allows me to tell the laser what are engraved lines and what are cut lines. As I've said many times before, what a time to be alive. Go!
So for my laser files, I usually have everything masked, and then when I get it out of the laser, I just spray it down with this black. That way you get these really good comic book lines where everything's kind of outlined in black and all your lines, your laser engraves are all infilled with the black paint, and you don't have to do all that manually. So then you just use some gaffer's tape to peel all that off, and boom. There you go, we got a big Wolverine ready for colored paint.
But let me jump back into where I started on this project. Every once in a while, you need a good side quest. And I kind of got distracted in the last year trying to do a Harry Potter themed bedroom for my kids. Something that I thought would take me a few months, and it's been over a year. You know, things like life, vacations, burnout, your brother standing up a haunted house. Yeah, that actually happened. But things like that get in the way and tend to delay projects and make them go on forever. And even though I love that project and it's really awesome and I am super excited to share more of that with you guys in the future, it can drain on you sometimes. And every once in a while, you just want to shift away from that. You're tired of looking at the storm cloud ceiling and being stuck making a closet. So you need a side project. And I'm totally the guy that plays Legend of Zelda and runs around trying to find all the armor and fairy fountains and do all the upgrades and get the best weapons, do all the side quests instead of actually trying to kill Ganon at the end of the game. I can't focus on the big task. It's just not in my nature. And sometimes you just have to make something for yourself because you want to. We all get busy doing things, whether it's a day job or your kids' activities or a million different stressful things that happen in the course of your life. And a big stress reliever for me is just doing a side project like this that will look cool and take my mind off of the daily grind. As I've said before, I've done other Marvel projects in the past before, but this one added a new complexity in that it wasn't just 1 or 2 layers. There were many layers and people and superheroes here that had to be on top of each other perfectly. When I thought I was ready to glue this thing up, I'd get close and then I'd hesitate and I'd realize, wait a minute, Wolverine's not actually the second layer, he's the third layer. And there were several rounds of this and just me getting scared, and then I'd procrastinate. Glue ups in general are nerve-wracking, but on something like this that you don't want to screw up and do over, that's why I procrastinate. I'm scared, I'm gonna break it, and have to start all over and spend more time. But how to defeat procrastination like that is basically start. There's a Walt Disney quote out there somewhere that basically says the first thing you have to do is get started. That's not it, but you get the gist. So I had to start with just a layer. I found pieces that I knew would be covered by our eventual heroes and wouldn't screw this up. So I just started. I started by gluing down those pieces, and eventually that led to the next layer, and the next, and the next, and before you knew it, voila. So, if you've made it this far, let me tell you about how you can win one of these for yourself. If you're watching this video and it's after May of 2024, I'm sorry you've missed out. But hang on, don't leave the video just yet, stay till the end, there's more to come. If it's not before the end of May 2024, here's how you can win this thing. As I said before, I've teamed up with Makers for Saint Jude. There is a link down in the description on where you can donate. For every $10 donated, you will get a raffle ticket to win this piece. Or a piece exactly like it. I made 2, because I'm keeping one and I'm raffling off the other. You donate directly on a site that is owned by Saint Jude and managed by Saint Jude. So none of the money comes through me at all. All of the money goes directly to Saint Jude. And then they give me a neat little dashboard so that I can see all the people that donated and how much. And then I get your names and I throw them all in the raffle. And all of that money that goes directly to Saint Jude goes to the families that have children that are dealing with cancer. It pays for their medical bills, it pays for their travel, it pays for their meal, their housing, everything. Cancer has been so prevalent around my life lately, it seems like, that this just seems like one little tiny thing that I could do to help in some way. This will run through the end of May, and on May 31st, I will do a live on my Instagram linked in description also, but I'll do a live stream and do the little wheel thing and spin it and announce a winner. I will cover shipping and I will get this sent to you as fast as I can. So let's raise some money to help some kids with cancer and their families. And as I said before, if you're too late and you missed out, don't worry. They're doing this again in the fall, and I plan on doing another one, but probably Spider-Man themed this time. He's kind of my favorite. All right, guys, that's it. Let's do it. Let's see how much money we can raise.